All right, so introduction to Django. What basically Django means is Django is a full stack web development framework. And with full stack, I mean that full stack includes front end as well as back end. So Django gives you the capability to write your codes in full stack also and develop backend also. And with that, it also provides a support for database management system. So in short, Django is a complete package of all you need to start your web development. Okay, so let's have a quick overview of what all we are going to do in this course. Okay, so as said, this is a
Sir,
yeah.
sir, your voice is breaking.
Okay, is it clear now?
Yeah,
Okay, so let's see a quick overview of our course. So in this course, we are going to start from very basics of web development. Okay, and by basics, I mean creating a simple web page to display Hello World program. And from that start, we are going to deep down
boss.
inside Django.
Hello, sir.
Yeah,
Sir, voice is breaking, sir. I think voice is breaking.
okay. Is it clear to everyone else, or everyone is having the same issue for voice? I'll just refresh my system then. Is it breaking or not, Ashlesh? Okay, Shreyas, please check your connection because everyone is having a clear voice. And
Okay, sir. I'll check.
okay, turn off your mic, please. Okay, fine, fine. So let's continue forward. So in this course, as we have said, this will be a 10-day course. At the first day, we'll be just having a quick introduction and installation. And with Django, we'll be also using Bootstrap, and we'll be seeing what basically Bootstrap is. So also we'll be seeing what all Django provides. Basically, Django provides all these features called URLs, views, templates, models, migrations, ORM. Basically, these are just the features of Django that we'll be seeing one by one. Then we'll be start creating a blogging app. And what basically blogging app is that you will be having a space where you can write something, basically a blog, and you can post it. And at the front page or at the home page, you will be able to see all the blogs that you have created. Okay, so that is how a blogging app works. You give us something input, you save your blogs in your database, and then you retrieve all the blogs and display again. So we'll be creating a simple blogging app. Then we'll be creating input forms for creating blogs. That is, we can create title, description, images, and all those input forms. Then we'll be try to add some media. Media means only images and thumbnails for our blogs. Then we'll be also trying to create user authentication, means suppose a user is logged in, then only he can see some blogs or edit some blogs. If he is not logged in, he can only read the blogs. So that is basically user authentication, signing up, logging in. So that we'll be seeing. Then we'll be trying to finish the app and then deploy it on Heroku. Okay, at the end of our Python basics course, I displayed my basic project on blogging app and also give you a quick example of how it works. So we'll be trying to make a same website today, and again I'll give you a quick overview of how that is. So this is the basic blogging app that I created. So these are all the blogs. You can see one by one them over here. Each blog will contain an image, a title, some category, a little bit description, and a read button. So whenever a user hits read on any of this blog, say I suppose hit read over here. So this is going to give me my blog, complete blog. Okay, and then these are just few extra things that we can add. We can add comments, like, share, and all of those stuff. Okay, so we can also add search option, category option, and share on Facebook, Instagram, and all those stuff. So basically this is how this is the blogging app that we are going to create in over the course of 10 days. So this is a quick example of what we are going to make. Okay, once that is clear, we'll have an idea of what we are going to work in this course. Okay, so if you want to visit it yourself, please go to this URL, transcribingthoughts.herokuapp.com, and you'll have a quick overview of what we are going to do in this 10 days course. Okay, so I think that's enough. Fine. So next thing we need to know is that we are going to heavily use Bootstrap. And what is Bootstrap? Bootstrap is basically a front-end library that provides us with ready-made CSS classes. And you might be familiar with CSS, right? We do stylings with CSS, style each and every element individually and give the position, give the color, give the background, give animations, layouts, and all that CSS stuff is already handled with Bootstrap. And the classes are already written in Bootstrap library and we just have to import them. So we'll be heavily using Bootstrap for the styling, as you saw in the website itself. I have not written a single line of CSS in there. Everything is handled by Bootstrap itself. So, okay, so I hope this course overview is clear. We'll be starting with creating blog very soon, but we'll be having quick example of what Django is today. So let's talk more about Django. What basically Django is, we are talking a lot about it. So basically Django is a web framework built in Python. A framework is a collection of modules and libraries that help us build an entire application without writing much of code and handles everything. Okay, so when we say Django is a framework, that means that it's like a library. We have libraries in all the programming languages, right? But framework is collection of those libraries and modules. So when you're writing something, you don't have to worry much about how the implementation is or how in the system this will work. You just have to write your front end code, you just have to write your routing, and most of the stuff, that is most of the internal parts, are basically just handled by Django himself. You don't have to write much of the code to deploy your site. Okay, so make sure you understand that what a framework is. It is just a collection of modules and libraries that help us to build an entire application. By entire application, I again mean that all of it. You don't have to do something else like front end at the different position, back end at the different position, and have a third party database and connect it with your website and store your data there. No, that's not the case with Django. Everything is packed inside one framework. Okay, Django comes with its own feature like user authentication, built-in database support, routing, template language, and much more. Okay, so we don't have to handle users ourselves. Django will do user authentication for you. It will also have a built-in database support. That means that you don't have to link up with Firebase or PostgreSQL, such like third-party databases. It will have its own database system where you can store anything. Okay. So then again routing is handled and all templates are also handled by Django. This allows us to easily build a dynamic web application using Python. And dynamic web application means applications which are user interactable. We can edit the website, we can create something new in the website, and the content is not hard coded, it is not static. You can retrieve the data from the database, you can delete the data from the database. Such all things that can be happening or changing things are called dynamic, and we can create dynamic websites using Django. Okay, so I think enough of Django talks. There is no actual proper definition of what a Django or framework is. We will just see it when we'll install it. Okay, fine. So basically how Django works, or any framework or any, what you can say, any web application work, is that we'll have a client. Okay, and in this case client is our browser. That is, we are seeing this whole browser window is a client and we are requesting something. We request URLs, we request templates, and this client is there, and we have a server. Okay, so we have a client and we have a server. So client, that is a browser, we will request the server with a URL. Okay, the client will send a request URL to the server, and where is that URL coming from? That URL is what we typed in this address bar, right? So when I typed over here my site name, so this is how I am requesting the server. Okay, so this is a request URL, transcribingthoughts.heroku.com. This is the request URL, and when I send this request to the server, okay, when I send this request to the server, this is going to give me a HTML template. Okay, and what HTML template basically means, HTML template is just the pages that are going to be rendered on your web screen. Fine. So client requests a URL and the server responses with a HTML template. Okay, so here was the quick example. We request for this URL and we got this HTML page. Okay, so that is how basically a web application work. A client requests a URL and a server will include all the logic. The server will include the Django framework itself. It will have the database stored at the server. We will have the Python code. Python code means all the logic, all the functions and classes are stored inside the Python code. And then there is an HTML template which is returned to the client, and client can see that HTML page. Okay, so working is very clear how HTML page, or sorry, how a web page or even a Django page work. Fine. So this is how basically a traditional web page work. Client request URL and server response with a template. Okay. So this was just the client server communication, but what is actually happening at the server? Okay. This is a very important diagram. What is actually happening inside the server? So we just know that server will respond with a HTML template, but how will it respond with an HTML template? We have three important modules inside the server. Those are URLs, views, and templates. Okay, URLs will contain all the paths that are valid for your web application. Okay, all the valid paths are already defined inside a file called URL, and this URL will contain all the URLs, or we can say all the paths that are available inside your web application. Okay, and paths by paths I mean like this is a one path. Okay, if I take a tour, this is going to give me another path. Okay, now the path has changed to my web name /home. Okay, now this is a new path. So suppose I go to say read. This is a new path, right? See, now the path has changed to read/15. Okay, so these are all the URLs that are valid inside your web application, or that are accessible inside your web application. So what's happening is all these URLs are stored inside a module called URL. Fine. When the server requests, when the client requests a URL, it is first checked if that URL is present inside this URL module or not. If it is present, then and then only you can render out something, right? If it is a valid URL, then only you can process it. So when a client sends a request for a URL, it is first checked inside this module. If the URL is present, that URL will call a function in view. Okay, so now what basically view is? A view module will contain all your Python code, all your logic, all your functioning, all your data, and all your HTML calls. Okay, a URL will never directly call a function, or sorry, a URL will never directly call a template. First, it will pass that URL to a function, and functions are always defined inside a view. So URL calls a function in view, and view will do all the processing for that function, that what is the data we need to render, or suppose if the user is authenticated or not, or what is the data that is passed by the URL. So all this data handling and functionality is done using this module called view. Okay, so URL will call a function, and once all the data handling is done, once all the functions are executed, then this view will pass that data to a template and render an HTML page. Okay, so I think this is the flow of how a server works. A server will contain URLs, URL will call a function, function will render a template, and template will request a new URL. Okay, so this is a cycle basically, because templates are seen by the user and user will request a new URL, right? Suppose we need to read something, so we are requesting a new URL for read. Suppose we need to search something, so we are requesting a URL for search. So a user will request a URL from a template, because template is basically what we see on our screen. So a user will request for a template will request a URL, the URL will call a function, and the function will do all the data handling, and it will pass the data and render an HTML page. Again, a template is seen by the user and it will pass a new URL. So this is basically the complete cycle of Django web pages. A web page will request a URL will call a function will render new template, a template will again call a URL, and that is how basically everything. Okay, and then I have created a small cylinder over here saying model, and model will hold all your database. So when I say the view will handle all your functionalities, it is connected with a database. Okay, suppose you need to retrieve some data, you need to add new data, you need to edit some data, or you need to check if the data is present, you need to check if the user is signed in, or you need to log out a user. So that all functionality is done by view in association with a model, and model means the database. Okay, so this is how a complete server works. So this is very important before we start developing web pages and handling URLs and views. So always remember, a template will call a URL will call a function will render a template, and template will call a URL. Okay, is it clear? Okay, fine. Because if this is not clear, we can't actually write a Django website. Okay, so make sure you can even screenshot this small diagram over here or write it down somewhere, because it is very important to know how a server basically works. Fine. So everything clear? If you have doubt, we can talk it out. Okay. Okay, so enough talk on Django and working on Django. Let's try to now install it. Okay, so how can we basically install Django? Django is not a package that is available on the web that we can directly download, but what we can do is we can use pip. And what basically pip is just a package manager in Python. Like in JavaScript or in Node.js, we have npm, if anyone is familiar. So in similarly to in Python, we have a package manager called pip, and what pip will basically do is it will just add or delete packages that are available in Python server. Okay, so all the packages that are downloadable using Python are installed using pip. So pip will basically install anything that you give to him. So the basic syntax of installing a package using pip is that pip install and then the package name, that is in this case we have Django. Okay, so what you need to do to install Django is that you need to open up your command prompt cmd, and you need to write the command pip install Django. Okay, once you do pip install Django and hit enter, this is going to download the latest version of Django into your system. Okay, but as I am on version 2.2.5, so I request everyone to just download 2.2.5, so we don't have any compatibility issues between our codes. Okay, so to download a specific version of Django, what you need to do, pip install Django and just mention the server the version that you need to download. Okay, so pip install Django equal 2.2.5. so this will install the version 2.2.5 into your system. So if I hit enter now, so this will just connect to the pip server and give us the required files that we need to install Django. Okay, so this is telling me that requirement already satisfied because I have already installed Django into my system. So in your case, you will be getting some download files, and once those downloading is completed, you will be ready. You are ready to install, or you are ready to use Django. Okay, so I request everyone, those who are into their systems, just go to your command prompt and please run this command. I'll just show it again. It is pip install Django equals 2.2.5. Okay, in order to check if pip is correctly installed into your system or not, once you install Python, pip is automatically installed. You don't have to basically go and install pip again. Pip comes integrated with Python itself. To check if pip is installed, do pip dash dash version, and this is going to give me whichever pip version is present. Suppose now I am on 20.0.2. okay, so check first if pip is present inside your system or not, and if that is not present, you need to install Python again. Once pip is installed, do this command pip install Django equals 2.2.5, and just note 2.2.5 is just the version of Django. You can download any version, but for this course we'll be using 2.2.5. okay, so please, those who are following along, do that, run that command, and we'll be moving forward in like 2 minutes. I'll give you to just install Django into your systems. Yes, do it. If any one of you who are not on their systems, I'll highly recommend please use your laptop for this course, because we'll be doing, I want you guys to do your code along with me, because that will be very helpful and you will not forget anything afterwards, and we'll deploy our sites everyone at the same time. Could not find version 2.2.5. Are you writing the same command that I have written over here? No spaces in between Django and equal and 2.2.5. Please don't give any unnecessary spaces in your command line. Django equal 2.2.5, there are no spaces in between. Shreyas, if you download without mentioning the version, it will download the latest version, that is I guess 3.0.7. But as we'll be using 2. I myself will be using 2.2.5, so there can be some compatibility issues. Okay, Jyoti, you are having error using pip is not internal or external command. I don't think that should be an error, because you are saying Python is successfully installed on your system. Pip comes with Python installed. Try again properly, like proper syntax of pip, because Ashlesh has installed successfully, Aishwarya has installed successfully. Make sure I'm writing, or if you want, I'll just copy this command and put it in the chat box. Okay, so I hope everyone will install Django, if not now. Okay, any command to recheck if Django is installed or not. Okay, so what you can do is you can do Django. I think this is the command, I'm not sure. This is not the command. Okay, Okay, so the command is basically Django admin dash dash version. If you need to check what version is, if it is successfully installed or not, just do Django dash admin slash slash sorry dash dash version, and it will give you the current version of Django that you are working on. Okay. Okay, so check if Django is successfully installed by running this command, and let's create our first Django project once we are done. Okay, so after that what you need to do is Aishwarya, what version it is, which version you are talking about? 19.2.3. Yeah, okay, it's not a big issue. Like pip version can be anything as long as it is pip. Okay, so don't have any problem with pip version. Just do pip install Django equal 2.2.5 to be done. Fine. So once Django is successfully installed, you need to have a text editor, right? As I've been telling you. So if anyone who is not having a text editor, just go to this site code.visualstudio.com, and here please, this is the official site of Visual Studio Code, and here you can just do download. After you hit download, executable file will be downloaded, and you can just run it as we ran Python to install Python. Okay, so please make sure you also download Visual Studio Code. So because I'll be using Visual Studio Code myself, so it will be easy for you guys to understand what I am doing into my PC. Okay, so please make sure with Django you also install Visual Studio Code. It is not very difficult to download. Okay, what I just basically did was go to Google, type in VS Code, and that will give you this download link. Click on the first link, and you will have this page, download for Windows. After you hit that, you will be having your executable file, and you are ready to use VS Code. Fine. Is it clear to everyone till now? Django VS Code already installed. Okay, no problem. Very good. So once Django is installed, let's talk something about Bootstrap, because we'll be using Bootstrap along with Django. Okay, so let's talk something about Bootstrap. Bootstrap is basically the most powerful, most popular CSS framework for developing responsive and mobile first website. So what basically responsive and mobile first means? It means that responsive means your website will be compatible to any type of screen, though it be any size and any shape. Okay, so that is what responsive means. If you change the size of your screen, the content will automatically adjust itself according to it. So if you are not using responsive websites, the content will be maybe cut out of the screen or maybe overflow from the screen. But responsive websites are basically the websites that are compatible to all the screen sizes and all the screen shapes. Even if you change your screen size or screen shape, the content will squeeze in or expand as per your screen. Okay, so let's have a quick example of what responsive basically means. So here I am into my site. This is the blogging site that we'll be creating. So when I go to my home page, and now this home page fits from end to end of my screen, right? So this is covering my whole screen. So what if I just squeezed my screen too small? Okay, so here you can see all the columns are being squeezed inside. There is no overflow. So as I change the size of my screen, the content is getting bigger and smaller. Okay, and after a certain point you will just see one column per row. Okay, even the nav bar is changed, so now it is vertical nav bar. First we are having horizontal nav bar like this. So basically this is a responsive website. Okay, it changes as the screen size change. Look, as I'm changing my screen size, the content is adjusting itself according to the screen size. Okay, and after a certain point you will have what we will say a mobile view. So this is basically the mobile view, and Yeah, that is how a responsive website basically works. It will just adjust itself according to the size of your screen. Fine. And again, if I go to full screen, it will adjust to full screen. So basically, Bootstrap help us to develop responsive and mobile first website. Mobile first means it will also give us a view that how our website will look on a mobile. So basically, our mobiles are much smaller than a laptop screen, right? So if we are creating a website on a laptop screen, it must be compatible with our mobile also, because most of our users will be on mobile phone and not on their laptops. So Bootstrap help us to make responsive and mobile first websites. Fine. Bootstrap 4 is the newest version of Bootstrap that we'll be using into this course also. So Bootstrap 4 is the newest version, and Bootstrap provides predefined classes that we can directly use in HTML documents for design. Okay. As I said, you don't have to write a single line of CSS when you're using Bootstrap. All the CSS is automatically been included into your HTML once you include Bootstrap. And that CSS is predefined. Someone has already wrote it into Bootstrap library, and you just have to import it and use it as per your need. We'll be seeing how we can use Bootstrap CSS classes, but that's what you need to know, that they are just predefined classes. Okay. And last thing you need to know is that Bootstrap supports all major browsers except Internet Explorer 9. So if anyone is using Internet Explorer 9 or even any kind of Internet Explorer, please change it to Mozilla Firefox or Chrome, because Bootstrap is not supported by Internet Explorer at all. Okay, so that's all about Bootstrap you need to know. If you need to learn more about Bootstrap, feel free to go to getbootstrap.com and you will have all the documentation here. So we'll be again visiting this site, but if you need to know more about Bootstrap and what it provides, how you can download it, what are the layouts and what are the contents components, so this is the site for Bootstrap. Okay, and the site for Django that has all the documentation in it is called djangoproject.com. Here you will find all the documentation that you need to learn a Django website. Okay, here you can go to documentation, and here you will find everything on from scratch, how you can get started with Django. If you want to build anything, suppose we talked about views, we talked about templates. If you want to create a form, you can just visit the form page, admin, security. So basically Django provides all the documentation, so you can just read it and follow the steps one by one. That we'll also be doing into this course. So we'll be visiting Bootstrap website and Django website a lot. So I just thought I'll introduce this to you, so it will be much familiar. Okay, so I think Visual Studio is done by now, and Django website will be visiting later. Bootstrap is done. Okay, so with that done, all the introduction is completed. Let's now try to create our first Django project. Okay, so everyone is done by installation by now, all of them who are having laptops with them. Any doubt, any error, any problem, any issue? Okay, so let's create our first Django project. Fine. So here I am into my desktop version, and here I can just create a new folder. Okay, I'll just name it Django. Okay, so I created a new folder, Django Basics, and what I can do now is that I can open up my command prompt. Here I'll just go to that directory into my desktop, that is I create. Okay, so this is the folder that I just created right now, and in order to start building a Django project, you need a framework itself, right? So from where does this framework come? So for this framework to start its working, you need to start a project. You need to tell Django that you need to build a new project, and you need to give that project something name, and of that name a framework will be created. So how we can do that? The command is Django -admin. So we are telling Django admin that I need to start a project. Okay, Django admin start project, and then you need to give a name to your project. Suppose we are creating a blog app, so I'll just give it a name, simple blog. Okay, simple blog is name of my project, and I am telling Django admin to start this project, means build this project for me. So Django admin start project simple blog. So this is the syntax of creating a Django app. Fine, it is that simple. You don't have to do much of things. So once I hit enter, this will take a minute or two, and yeah, done. So now if I go to my folder again, here you can see a simple blog folder is created. Okay, so let's try to open up this simple blog into our Visual Studio Code. Okay, this is my Visual Studio Code front page, and here you can see a simple blog app is created. Okay, and this will have some predefined or pre-built files already for you guys. So let's have quick look at each file first. But this basically simple blog has two main files, a folder saying simple blog itself, and then there is manage.py file, and we know that .py means a Python file. So manage.py is the main file for your app. It is basically the main function of your program. Everything starts with manage.py, and it is not basically important what is written inside this code, because we'll never visit this manage.py. But manage.py is the file that handles everything. Okay, it is just some simple Python code inside it, but it will manage everything, your database, your server, your addition of new apps into your system, and all of those stuff. Okay, so manage.py is the first file, and that is basically the main function. Okay, you can even see there is a main function, and all the execution of your Django app starts with the manage.py file. The next thing into our file we have is another file called simple blog, and simple blog is the main app. Okay, this was the folder, and this is the main app, and by app I means this will contain some another files inside it. And what are these files basically? It is settings.py, urls.py, and these are wsgi.py. These are not basically of any our use, we'll not seeing them anymore. But what we are concerned is of this url.py. Okay, so wait a minute, I'll just change my font so you guys can see it properly. Okay, so this is basically the URL page, and whatever all the URLs are inside our system are going to be written inside this file. Okay, so urls.py will hold all the URL and all the paths of our website, and those paths are just written over here. Okay, so path, and then you give it a URL, and in front of that URL you write a function. Okay, so we'll be discussing more about it later, but urls.py will hold all the URLs that are accessible or that are valid inside your app. Okay, so that is what urls.py do. Settings.py is a file that will have all the settings, that is if you need to install a new app, if you need to install a new functionality, a database, a template, anything, so that all is done in a settings.py file. So as the name itself suggests, all the settings that we need to do for our app are done inside this settings.py file. See here you can see installed apps. So if you need to install some new apps into your system, you need to add them over here. Suppose you need to have some middleware, that is suppose a security system or a third party system, so all those middlewares are written over here. Then suppose you are installing some templates for your front page, then that will be written inside this template folder. And you are having, suppose not using the default database, but you are using any external database, so that can be written inside this database folder. Okay, so this is basically just a setting page where you can change the settings of your app how your app should function, what all are the apps into your system, what are all the databases, what are all the templates. So all that is written inside this settings.py file. Okay, is it clear to everyone? How we can create a Django app. So I'll request everyone, those who have installed Django and are with their system, just create a simple folder, go to that folder, type in Django admin, start project, and give it a simple project name. Okay, I'll give you guys just like 2 minutes to create your own personal Django apps, and it is that simple. You don't have to do anything. All the files are already created for you guys. All you need to do is this command, Django admin, start project, and give it a project name. Okay, I'll just paste it into the chat box so you guys can refer it. Okay, make sure you create a simple app and we'll see how we can run it. Those who are not on their systems, unfortunately, what you guys can do, just make sure you write down all the commands that I am giving, so that when you are on your system, you can install successfully Django on your system and you can start your own project on your system, so that you don't run into any issues or problems later. Okay, okay, are the apps created, projects made with Django admin? Okay, good. Okay, Sheetal, you want to repeat? Fine. So let's repeat the folders. See, what basically I did is, after creating this Django basics folder, I'll just clear out my terminals. Okay, so this is a new terminal. So after I created it on desktop, as it was on desktop, so all I did was cd desktop. Okay, so once I am into my desktop directory, what I did cd that Django basics folder. Okay, once I am into Django basics folder over here, that is desktop Django basics folder, I need to create an app, or I need to create a project inside this folder, right? So what I do, Django admin, that is I am telling Django admin to start a project, and I just gave it a project name. So this time I'll give something else. Let's say temp. Okay, so right now I gave it a name called temp project, and after I hit enter, this is going to once this is successfully executed, go back to your Django basics folder, and here you can see a new project is created, that is temp project. Okay, I don't need it, I'll just delete it for now. Fine. So that is how you can create a simple Django project inside your system. Okay, so let's see how you can run this Django app. Okay, once it is created and all, it's fine. Let's see how you can run it. Okay, we need a server to run it, and that server is provided by the local host itself. You don't have to create an external server and all of that. So let's see how you can run it. So once you are into your Django basics folder, what you need to do, open up your terminal. Okay, so I am currently into desktop Django basics folder, and now I need to go into my project directory, and my project was basically simple blog, right? So I'll do cd simple blog. Okay, so now I am into my project directory. This was my base directory, and now I am into my project. And let's check what are all the folders that we have into our project. Once we do dir will give you all the directories and folders that are present inside your project. So we know that we have a manage.py file over here. So let's try to run this manage.py file. Okay, so basically it is a simple Python file, right? And we know how to run a simple Python file. We can do python manage.py. Okay, python manage.py will run the entire manage.py file for you, but we don't want to run the entire manage.py file. What we need to do is we need to run a server that will host our Django app, right? So for that we need to say python manage.py run server. Okay, this is the command to run a Django app. Python manage.py run server, and once I hit enter on python manage.py run server, okay, this is going to start my server on the local host. Okay, so you will get this all errors, you know, which will say you have 17 unapplied migrations. We'll get to that later, but this will give you a statement that says starting development server at http://127.0.0.1:8000. So basically this is your local host where your Django app is deployed. So let's copy this out. Let's go to our browser, and okay, I just pasted out that URL that was given by the Django server to me, and after I hit enter, this is the first landing page, we can say, or the first home page that Django provides, which says that the installed work successfully, congratulations. So once you get this page, you know that Django is successfully installed, your project is successfully created, and your app is successfully run. Okay, so this is the front page, we can say, or the landing page where Django basically gives us. Fine. So make sure after you create your project, go to your project directory and run python manage.py run server, and once you go to your local host, you should get this page. Okay, let's make it. Fine. What we did after creating the folder, or after creating the project, after Django admin start project, a project name, we changed our directory to the project. Make sure this step is very important. Inside Django basics folder, I did cd simple block, that is I went into my project directory, and inside the project directory I did python manage.py run server, because basically manage.py is inside my project, right? So I went into the project directory, run the command python manage.py run server, and this server is been hosted on the site http://127.0.0.1:8000. This is your local host address, and once you visit the local host, you will get this landing page for Django. Okay, which says that the installer successfully worked, means everything is successful. Now you are ready to learn Django, to create new websites and all of that stuff. Okay, great. So in today's session we saw what Django is, how Django provides full stack applications. We have templates, we have views, you have URLs, and if we go, we saw how basically a website works. A client requests a URL to the server, and server responses with a template. Okay, and at the server we have all the code. We have a Django, we have database, we have Python, we have HTML. Everything is situated inside the server. Okay, Also, we saw what is happening inside a server. Make sure you draw this diagram somewhere or take a screenshot. I'm telling you again. But please remember this diagram, because this is the main core functionality of Django itself, that a URL will call a function, function will render a template, and template will request a URL. Again, the URL will call a function, a function will render a template, and template will request a URL. Okay. So this is what is happening inside a server. We'll be seeing when we create an actual app, but you need to know how this functionality is. Then we install Django. If you haven't installed, please install Django today itself by using the command pip install Django, and make sure you do equal version 2.2.5. Okay. Then we quickly saw what Bootstrap is, what Bootstrap can do, and that was it. Then we created our small app. Now, small, I mean an empty app, which will just give us confirmation that everything is successfully installed on our system. Okay. So if you guys have any doubt in whatever happened today, just make sure to put it in the WhatsApp or Telegram groups. So we'll again the same process, like what we did in Python basics, everything is same. You can share your errors, you can share your doubts, so we can solve it all together. I'll be again uploading this all session recordings on YouTube also. Make sure you check it if you have any problem or error, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. So for tomorrow, what we have is just, yeah, basically the introduction of all the files inside Django, that are URL views templates that I told you, right? How basically these all are interconnected with each other. Okay, so we'll be seeing that tomorrow, and also tomorrow we'll be creating a first hello world page, because this is not actually helpful to us. We need to have our own content over this page, right? So we'll try to put a hello world statement onto this page tomorrow. So if you guys have any doubt, please let me know, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay, bye bye, good night, thank you for joining.